Hi. So, like I promised, I am going to deliver to you a video on transaction advisory services. And this video was recorded in lockdown again, and I'm finally uploading it. It's the guest on today's video is Vatsal Modi. He's a chartered accountant. He cleared his CA in first attempt, and he will tell you more about himself, of course. So, if you're someone who's looking to get into TAS, or say mergers and acquisitions, corporate restructuring, etc. These are the profiles which ultimately TAS leads you to, right? So if you're looking to get into TAS, you are watching Bhavna Ki Bhavna and you have to stay tuned to this video and don't forget to subscribe.
Hello, namaste, and welcome back to the channel. Like I mentioned to you, we have Vatsal Modi with us today, who will be telling you different nicks and knacks of the transaction advisory services profile. So, welcome to the channel, Vatsal, and thanks for agreeing to do this.
Hi, Bhavna. Thanks a lot for having me here. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. So, Vatsal, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your professional journey and how.
To give a quick introduction of myself, I cleared my final CA in May 2018, before which I was doing my articleship with a mid-sized firm. It was in audit and taxation, but majorly it was audit. So after clearing my finals, I had that intuition that I personally favored finance much more academically. So I wanted to pursue a career in finance also. Especially into corporate finance, not much of a technical guy. So I came across this profile of transaction advisory where I got into one of the big fours, and I've been an associate here for about 2 years now. Apart from that, I'm also pursuing CFA, and I'll be appearing for the 3rd level in December this year, hopefully.
How it has been so far. That's great. That's great. Congratulations. And also tell us that, so as a CA fresher, you qualified your final in like first attempt, second attempt, which attempt was it?
Yeah, the first attempt.
First attempt, right? So as a fresher, I have seen the people who get into transaction advisory services are very rare. Like there are very rare chances of a fresher to get selected. So is there any specific criteria that these companies follow?
Yeah, so to get into transaction advisories, Big Fours usually have a very stringent criteria of having an audit experience in the articleship. And in that also, they favor the Big Four audit experience guys the most. So transaction advisory, like almost double or triple than the other guys. So it becomes very difficult for, let's say, a mid-sized firm article who had a tax experience to get into transaction advisory. So that is one very big criteria. And apart from that, the Excel skills is something no Big Four wants to compromise on, or no TAS firm wants to compromise on. So that is tested very critically in the interviews.
It can be a little tough for you to get into transaction advisory. That brings me to this question that, so what are the chances of a non-first attempt fresher, or you can say somebody coming from a very average background, like articleship from a mid-sized firm or from a smaller town? What are the chances of these people getting into this profile?
So obviously people first try for the TAS profiles. You can try it via references or via sending your CVs on LinkedIn, etc. And if the interview is a bit difficult to crack through for them because of their experience in articleship, the usual approach many people have seen undertake is they go for an audit profile in a Big Four on a temporary basis and hope to switch to transaction advisory in the near future, say about 1 year or 1.5 years. So it's a temporary compromise on the profile you want, but then the chances of getting into transaction advisory increase a lot because now you will have a Big Four audit experience to back you.
Okay, great. कि transaction advisory में भी आगे क्या further sub departments होते हैं? Do they have like divisions? That is one thing. And then what are those divisions about, and what work do people do in those divisions?
Okay. So basically, under finance, I would broadly categorize all the departments into either a technical finance profile or a corporate finance or a fundamental finance profile. So
Okay.
technical finance would be everything like equity research, etc., which is on the stock market movements, etc. And fundamental finance fields would be corporate finance, investment banking, etc. So this corporate finance head is a very broad head, which encompasses everything of deal advisory, fundraisers, mergers and acquisitions, etc. And corporate finance has various subdivisions, which include investment banking, it includes valuations, it includes transaction advisory, uh, commercial due diligence, etc. So transaction advisory is one part of that corporate finance profile. And there are no any subdivisions into transaction advisory. Transaction advisory involves the financial due diligence aspect of all those mergers, acquisitions, and investments.
Tell me that what work do these people who get into transaction advisory departments they do in a I'm talking about typically a big four.
Okay, so as I said, transaction advisory would encompass financial due diligence that would basically have financial analysis of all the historical financial statements of a target company. So there are some indicators like EBITDA, debt, and working capital, which are very critical for an investor to have a financial model and to carry out valuation of a company. And financial due diligence strives to arrive at a fair value for all these factors on a historical basis. So that is pretty much a summarized view of what a typical financial due diligence does in a deal.
Okay. So, do you think that there are certain interpersonal skills or technical skills that a person should develop before, aiming for tasks?
Okay, so interpersonal skills, I would say that like any other profession is of immense importance, because in task, your communications would be basically with a senior FC or a CFO or the finance team of a target company for various data and questions which you have on the company. It would be with potential investors in the company to answer their questions about the target. It would be with some other big four which is representing the investor from another side. So you have to have interpersonal skills to tackle all the questions and extract information from the target. Apart from that, technical skills, as I said, Excel is of immense importance, because I think 70 up to 75% of your work would be on Excel, because it's a lot of number crunching and data analytics, and Excel is of immense importance in that. Apart from that, I think writing skills would come in very handy for report writing, etc. And technical skills, I would say in the initial years, technical skills would be of much more importance than your interpersonal skills for data
How
analytics.
much they can expect in terms of packages?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel the fixed starting salary in TAS is almost in line as compared to the other typical traditional CA profiles like audit or taxation.
Okay.
Maybe on the higher end, but it's almost in line. But from growth prospects, the growth in the fixed salary is quite good in the TAS profile. And apart from that, the variable pay also forms quite a big chunk of your total compensation, that could be in the range of 20 to 30% based on the companies and the
Depending on
employees.
the performance. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great to hear. So I think we have the information that we need. If somebody wanted to, shift the profile later on after working into something like TAS, they want to, shift to a more interesting or something profile. What do you think? So for someone who's looking for a switch later in their career from a TAS role to a better role in whatever terms people look at it, what they can look forward to, what are the opportunities that they will get after working into a role like TAS?
Okay. So employees who don't wish to continue in TAS after a certain point, they usually go for they usually have two options. So either they wish to give up on the intense work hours and go for a nice work-life balance. They opt for a profile in the industry, which could either be financial planning and analysis, that is FP&A, or they opt for corporate strategy profiles, which usually big firms have in the industry. if they are looking for more challenging jobs and they don't care a lot about the work-life balance, then they can go for profiles like investment banking, private equity, investment analysis, and strategy consulting. Although these profiles are a bit difficult to get into, because big consulting firms like the MBBs or big investment banks usually require an MBA to have an entry into their profile. So, but I have seen cases of people who have switched into IB or P or strategy after tax. So these are the two options.
I want to tell the audience here that before this video, we have already covered some roles that he mentioned. Financial planning and analysis. We have a video on that. I'll link it here. And apart from that, there's also corporate strategy that we covered that I'll be uploading very soon. And we've covered investment banking role and equity research role as well. So check those videos out if you want to know more about these roles. Yes. So, yeah, I think we've covered almost everything, Vatsal. One question that I have for you is that tell me how your journey as a tax professional has been till now. I think you were working in a Big Four and now you're making the shift. So, whatever experience you have about that, good or bad, honestly.
Yeah, so the usual problem which people face with a particular profile is, I think the profile becomes stagnant after some point of time. People usually feel that they know a lot about the profile, so they feel the job is becoming too static. So one thing I find good about TAS is that the deal duration is usually fixed and it is about 1 to 2 months. So with every new deal that you undertake, you get to explore a completely new company in a different sector with a completely different business model. So even though you are developing a sort of expertise in the profile, in the work you do, you get to explore new industries and new business models with every new assignment you have. So the learning curve does not flatten so much, and it's usually a completely new, different experience every time. So I've had a pretty good experience until now, and as you said, I'm currently switching to a consulting firm in the same profile. So I hope to have an enriching experience in the future also.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Do you have any particular tips or learnings from your experience that you would like to give somebody who is just starting out in their career?
Okay, so no specific learning or something as such. It's just that people clearing CAs in these times of the pandemic, etc., they usually will face a lot of difficulty in getting into a profile of their choice. So I think something one should keep in mind that they should never give up on the profile if they have fixed something in mind. So I know it will take some time to for things to settle, for the hiring freezes to get completed and companies to start hiring again. But just hang in there, and I think if you have a fixed profile in mind, you will get into it at some point of time.
Yeah, and I think after getting into a profile that you don't want to work in the long term, it becomes a little difficult to make the switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind as well, guys. And this was about transaction advisory services. Thanks, Vatsal. Again, I'll be linking Vatsal's LinkedIn profile URL in the description box below. So check his profile out and connect with him personally if you would like. Do not forget to share this video, like and comment, and yes, please shower all your appreciation on Vatsal in the form of comments on the video and on his LinkedIn.
Thank you so much, Bhavna.
Thank you. Stay safe, take care, and bye-bye.